Hi, this is the Taskmaster Fitness online fitness studio with me, Rachel Tasker, founder of the company. So, here in the online studio, we pick apart various topics of fitness, health, and well-being, and take a few moments to get practical. Hi, and here we are in the Taskmaster Fitness online fitness studio. Hope you're here. You may be in leggings, you may be in jeans, doesn't matter that you're here. That is the main thing. So, this topic is the benefits of exercise, and I'm just going to hopefully add 3 more words to this screen. There we go, 3 more lines. So, that's what I want to talk about today is the benefits of exercise, covering things in 3 broad topics because there's actually a lot of benefits to exercise, and we all hear it, and you may be thinking, here she goes, she's going to tell me I need to exercise, blah, blah. And I'm not here to tell you to exercise at all. That is your own free will and your own choice. We all have that. I'm just want to share with you some of the benefits that you may not have considered. You may very well have considered them. I don't know. And just things that don't get talked about in the mainstream. So initially, when I talk to people about their, when I first started out as a personal trainer in the gym, I would often ask people like, what's your aim? What's your goal? And they would often say they wanted to keep their weight down. They wanted to lose a stone, or they'd point at their belly and tap it and say, I need to lose some weight here. Whatever they, said, however it came across. And so we associate health, and I'm being generalistic, so bear with me, largely in the main, the initial thought that people have around the benefits of exercise immediately turns to look good or to look a certain way, to keep weight down for BMI, for those of us who've come across BMI, body mass index. It's the scale that tells us whether we're in a normal weight range or obese, and I think there's overweight and then obese. It gives us those different categories. I'm not going to go into that today. That's definitely another topic to go into. But the BMI scale does lose some credibility, and I'll share that another time. And people are often thinking that if you're doing exercise, you're wanting to change your body shape. Now, in my experience, personally, as an individual in this world, people have either thought of me as a PT, she must eat well, she must only eat salads all the time, I bet she doesn't drink, I bet she doesn't do this, I bet she exercises all day, every day, and they just assume that about me. And then I've also, before I became a personal trainer, I was in a rowing team. And as soon as I said I rowed, everyone presumed that I was gunning for the next Olympics, or they wanted to know where my status was, how good a rower was I. Quite frankly, I wasn't any good. I mean, I did it, I loved it, I took part. So in that way I was good, but it didn't translate. As a manager once said to me in an old job, he said, rowing isn't paying your bills, right? Which is an interesting thought from him. So what are those other things about exercise that are important? What goes beyond this? What goes beyond our initial thoughts of to look a certain way and keep our weight down? Well, let's get into it. Because shout out to all of those who have looked beyond this, and there are and they acknowledge other reasons why they exercise. And they're probably the ones that you might be thinking of that are doing it week in, week out. But I could be wrong on that. That could just be totally my point of view. So here we go. Benefits of exercise. So on my original slide, right at the start, I had physical activity, emotional well-being, and disease prevention. Now, those are 3 broad topics that I have come up with, that I have seen in my experience, just in a way to structure this conversation. They're in no way, I didn't get them out of a textbook. They're not, they're just, I guess, a professional opinion. So let's start off benefits of exercise, physical benefits. So I've listed, and you may have ones that come to mind. And if you do, please write them down. Please acknowledge them. Please share them with me afterwards. So some of the ones I want to talk about are, in terms of physical benefits, are skill level in a range of activities. So if I bring that to sport, I was good on a rowing machine, or, in inverted commas, good on a rowing machine. And I had a certain level of skill. Could I do other things? Well, could I throw and catch a ball? Absolutely not. My brother and my father will attest to that many times. But my my function, my capacity in the gym was probably quite good. I could run. I could cycle. And so if we think about it in terms of skills that we have, maybe we do or don't like running, but we broadly have the capacity to do some sort of running, albeit just to the end of the road. No shame at all. Just to be able to have a different range of skills, use different equipment in the gym, go to different classes, partake in different sports, or just outdoor activities. Another benefit is strength, and being strong enough to be able to do the activities in our daily life. Like if we're a painter and decorator, we need to be strong enough to be able to get up and down the stairs. If we have a dog that we need to walk, we need to be able to be strong enough to do, also you need to be strong enough to perhaps lift your large dog in and out of the car. Strength-wise, as we age, and that's another topic I'll come on to another time, is we need strength, we need muscle mass. And it's not about Arnold Schwarzenegger muscle mass, for those who get that reference. It's not about body beautiful and the sort of posy competitions. It's about just having muscle in your body to enable you to get around and do stuff. As we age, it's our ability to be able to get up and down off the toilet by ourselves. Sleep, I've listed, can be a bit controversial, because I know some people, don't, will tell you that they don't sleep very well, and I fully, absolutely respect that. I'm fortunate enough to not be one of those people, but I have had a sleepless night in my life, and my God, I don't know how people function. But doing regular physical activity is shown to be a good advocate, is that the right word? To enable a good sleep routine, or to be able to help you sleep more deeply. If ever you've had, gone out for a big dog walk, or you've had a heavy day, like when you've moved house, or you've gone and hung out with friends in London for the day, you've exerted yourself in some way, generally speaking, you have a good night's sleep that night. And lots of people anecdotally say, that's been a long day, hopefully I'll sleep well. And there is some, correlation and truth in that. We can go the other way and exercise too much, but broadly speaking, for most of us, doing regular exercise on a regular basis, and by regular, I mean 2 or 3 times a week for a minimum of 2 to 3 months. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. That's my opinion. And then your sleep pattern will change and it will evolve. It doesn't just do it anecdotally after one day, but over a period of time, you will just notice that sleep is easier and more refreshing. Physical benefits also include rehabilitation. So for anyone who's injured themselves or currently has arthritis and is trying to find a way to still be able to function in their life despite the fact that their knee or their hip is absolutely killing them, this is where exercise comes in, and we're finding through sport and through physiotherapy that taking part in regular physical activity that gets your heart rate up, that gets you moving around outside of your normal range of movement, has a wonderful impact on the body and makes it stronger and more resilient and less likely to injure. And then I've also included competitive sport. So that can be international level, regional level, or hobby level. Any kind of sport that you're involved in. For me, it is now Olympic lifting. It used to be rowing. My dad is involved in walking football. My mum enjoys my hit and chat classes. Some people horse ride, some people in running clubs, some people play tennis. Like, whatever it is, being involved in those sports gives you a skill level. It gives you fitness. It gives you camaraderie and teammates. So those are like physical benefits of exercises. They literally make you better at your sport, or at least keep you at the same level that you're at. So I thought I'd touch on those physical ones first because they seem like the most obvious outcome. But then there are emotional well-being things that come out of it as well. Now, emotional well-being is terminology that I'm using. You might relate to it as something else. This was sort of the closest description I could get to. So my list here includes confidence, stress busting, self-esteem, reduced feelings of anxiety and depression, self-worth, sense of achievement, self-belief, and personal growth. Now, these aren't things that they're not going to win you a gold medal. They're not going to get you opening the jam jar necessarily because you're stronger than you were. But they are the things that invariably will keep you going back to exercise. I want to say they're the icing on the cake. They shouldn't be, because some of those things are really important. Like, if you're involved in exercise on a regular basis, be it sport, be it in gym, maybe in gym classes, or entirely by yourself, the confidence that you get from that, and lots of people have cited it. In fact, there was I watched a video from Nuffield Health, and they were interviewing a girl with cystic fibrosis, and she was being trained by a PT and helping her to rehabilitate. And off the back of it, the confidence that she got to go into school and do the things that she does, and not to feel like an unwell person all the time, was huge. And actually, for me, it's the same. You know, the more sport I was involved in, or the more physical I was, the more confidence I had, and I felt braver to say no when I couldn't do something and ask for help when I needed it. And equally to say, yeah, actually I can do that. Let me do it. I can do that. And that's huge. Especially for things like I've listed later on, like self-esteem, self-worth, self-belief. Like, those things are so important for our general looking after of our own mental health. Stress busting. I experienced it working in events. If I could get out on the river in the evenings, man, that sorted me out from the pressures of the day. And lots of people will find the same thing. That's not to say that if you're super stressed and highly strung, and I mean that with absolute respect, but you might need to find the right level of exercise for you. So sometimes yoga and Pilates can be a bit more appropriate. For other people, a decent boxer-size class is exactly what they need. So it really depends on each individual and who you are and what you value and what you get from it. But being involved in exercise and noticing some of these things that you might get off the back of it is really important, because it can help you stay engaged. Self-achievement, a sense of achievement, that's a brilliant one. It ties into confidence. But yeah, just at the end of the day being like, oh, do you know what? I got that done. If nothing else went my way today, I at least did that. That I always think is really important and really valuable. And then personal growth. And we never know where our personal growth is going to come from, what life is going to throw at us next. But exercise is always there. It will always be your friend and your enemy at times, but you will always improve and you'll always get satisfaction from being involved. And then the last one for me is the most key, and it's where most of my work is helping using exercise to affect disease prevention. So there are many conditions out there that can be improved upon and to some extent reversed with exercise. So some of the ones that you might be familiar with: high blood pressure, osteoporosis, type 2 diabetes, probably ones that you might think of most. But then fatigue, fibromyalgia is a complex one, but people do suffer with fatigue, and it makes them feel like they don't have the energy to do anything. And what is remarkable is that with a measured amount of exercise, that their ability to feel more energy in a day is impacted through exercise. And for me, that's phenomenal. Osteoporosis, listed on here, is a bone mineral disease that depletes the strength and solidity of your bones and leaves a person open to fractures from falling from standing high at its worst. And that can actually be, depending on how deteriorated someone's bones are, that is potentially reversible through exercise. Type 2 diabetes is found now to be reversible through diet and exercise. And exercise does play a big role. The other thing that we often take for granted and don't realise is that being fitter improves your immune response to colds and flu. So you might still get that cold, but it probably won't be as bad as it could have been. You may go longer periods without getting colds or flu, or you may just experience that your colds and flus really aren't that bad and that you can manage. And I think on a day-to-day basis, that's a phenomenal response. So right at the start, I spoke about how initially we might think that the only benefits of exercise are around weight loss, weight management, trying to change one's appearance. And I then moved on and spoke about the other benefits of exercise. And I hope that those other benefits really sit with you and really resonate with you. And if you want to see a different narrative, the opposite narrative to what weight loss looks like, this is my suggested reading. This is the stuff that I have read that kind of, it did blow my mind. That this is the opposite. Now, you don't have to feel the same way I do. You don't need to feel like, oh my God, this is the answer to all my prayers. But to read it and have an opposite view on the current narrative around weight loss, I think is just, it's just so interesting and so refreshing to read and hear about. So I guess in summary, really, it's just to say that, to find your benefit, like acknowledge what the benefits are from you for exercising, or what are the benefits that you would like to get. When someone says to you, oh, if you exercise more, this will be better. Like, what is that? What does that look like? What's that thing that you want that's going to be better? Because that'll be the thing that makes you stick at it. And I shouldn't even use terminology make you stick at it, but if you've always got that in mind while you're trying to do it and what you're getting out of it, then that's so impactful. And equally, to get you started either on a brand new exercise regime or to reinstate one that you've used before, or however you're getting back to it, just what is it you're looking to get out of it? And then from there, decide how you facilitate that. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's weight training, maybe it's running. Doesn't matter what it is, just as long as you know what benefit you're looking for. And then the outcomes of exercise might be things like reduced medication, better movement to get around, or that sense of personal achievement that we were talking about. So I hope that was in some way useful today. And if you want to add your own comments below, then please do. And if you want to get in touch, you're more than welcome. Please do. And that was the Taskmaster Fitness Studio today. Thank you for being here, and hopefully we'll be in touch soon. Let's get to it. part of the online Taskmaster Fitness Studio. So this mobility exercise I'm going to share with you is actually for your shoulders, your shoulder blades. I don't know what to call it. I'm sure it's got a name, an official name, but for me it's a combination of a high plank and a downward dog. So I'm going to show you sort of a variation of it, and then I'm going to show you a variation where you can use a box, you can use a kitchen work surface, table, whatever's available to you, if it's preferable to have some height under your hands. So to start the move, you need to be on your hands and knees and find yourself in a high plank like so. You're then going to move into downward dog, trying to get your heels down towards the ground. Drop your head between your arms and then come back forwards into the high plank, downward dog, and just move freely between the two. Feel how your body weight shifts forwards and backwards. I have no idea how many I've done. We're going to aim for 10. So you can follow along, or you can save this for later. Entirely up to you. I think that was number 10. So that is mobilisation for the shoulders, utilising high plank and downward dog. So for the variation, so any exercise like mountain climbers, even burpees, this particular exercise, they're at their hardest when you have to put your hands on the ground. So to alleviate some of that, you can raise the height. So let's make sure I'm going to be on screen for the whole thing. So use the height, whatever it is that you've got. Come into the best high plank position that you can. And then extend your bottom right out, extend the arms. Then come back over the top. And extend over the top. And when you extend back here, let the head drop. You might even feel a little pull, a little stretch in your armpits. That is not a bad thing. And again, you can do about 10 reps of these. So that's it for that section. Another mobility workout for the shoulder blades. You can use it before a workout. Use it when you wake up in the morning if you feel a bit stiff. If you've been sat at a desk for a while, it's a mobility exercise, so it really can be used at any time. But yeah, as part of a warm-up, a collection of 4 or 5 of those different things, targeting different parts of the body, and you'll have yourself a nice little warm-up. Anyway, I hope you're well and speak soon.